Dear church, may God bless you abundantly. I would never imagine that I would speak to you online and to share the sermon online, as I used to see the church face to face and to communicate with you. But as you know, God's will is not our will, and we are in the center of God's plan. Let me tell you a bit about what is happening here. I should say there is a lot of blessings here and revival here, and we are facing a great revival. The church increases in numbers in a daily basis, and members of the church are of different nationalities, Armenians also, of course. The people are being saved. The church is 1 year old. It is considered that there is no revival, but there is revival. The church is 1 year old, and in this short period of time, it has already done baptism with water the third time, and we are more than 150 to 800, not counting the children. We already purchased a building. This is something surreal, as in general churches get their own buildings within 5 or 10 years, while we did it in only 1 year. Banks do not usually give credit to the churches with less than 2 years registration, but I don't know how one of the banks agreed to do it for us, and now we have our church meetings in our own building. This church and the one in Armenia are sister churches, and we are building a great bridge between us. Very soon you will see ministers from our church coming to serve in Armenian church. Many ministers from Armenia come to serve here. Armen, Lusyan, have came here to preach. It seems, I am often told it seems like Armenia is a country of priests and everyone there are ministers of God. We represent Armenia and Armenians here. Many people in the USA changed their opinion about Armenians. Back in the day, someone came over and said, I want to apologize as I have often been deceived by Armenians, but now you are a good sample for me and my family. We love Armenians. They decided to come to Armenia and to do something good for our country. Here in the USA, we do our best for the villages of Armenia, have a good benefit and are saved. Very soon I will have a church tour for of the building which we have recently purchased, and I am planning to establish a school here where we can raise missionaries to be sent to Europe and all over the world in general. I want to refer to the sermon now, but I am very sensitive towards the Holy Spirit. I pray regularly every day and fast also, so as I can hear a word of God, a word from God. God has ordered me to act strictly how He wants me to, where He wants me to go, and I am standing in a great responsibility to just simply follow God as He wants me to. More than 30 pastors joined me in fasting. These are pastors of different nationalities located in the USA. In Europe, so as there is revival in Europe, all over the world, pastors are being raised, and there is a great revival. Now, back in the day, when Gor Mekhakian was here, we were discussing and planning how to organize the revival in Armenia, and we have peace in Armenia. We are diligently praying so as Armenia becomes one of the best countries in the world. Today is Easter, and I want to tell you, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. He has been resurrected, and we are blessed with His resurrection. So this special day of Easter, I want to speak about humility. Christ was so humble. He left the heaven and humbled himself and was not arrogant, but he came to us. He made himself humble. When he came to his disciples, he didn't say, "Hey, Peter, you noticed who I am?" And he didn't show his advantage and superiority, but his humility. Our God, Jesus Christ, was very humble. I want to give you a definition of humility. I am sure you will be very blessed by hearing the definition of humility, because I am eager for God's graces upon all of you. I entitled the sermon like this: humility does not mean to admit your inferiority. If we are humble, it doesn't mean that we have low self-esteem. No, it means that humility means that you are very valuable, but you want to humble yourself. The first point I want to open for you is humility is not the concept of being insufficient or inferior. Instead, it means not having superiority over the others. It means that we do not accept ourselves to be with low esteem, but we, knowing our value, we are humbling ourselves. Very often, people are think that religious humility is the same real humility. No. What is religious humility? I will give you a sample now. A couple of years ago, I met a girl in Slavonic church. There was a girl, she was singing very good, and when she went down the stage, I told her, your singing is very good. She said, no, it's not me, it's God. I asked her, do you really think, is it God who is singing? He said, no, it is God who gave me singing. I asked her, I told her, if this is God who is singing, then he is not singing good, because I am waiting for, expecting God to sing best, but you, God is singing the best of all. But if this is God who is singing instead of you, then it is not good. But if this is you who are singing, then it is good. And I asked her, would it be good if I say it is not me who is speaking from the stage, but God? He said no. I asked her, could you say that you are singing fine? She was not telling that. But finally, after 10 minutes, she said, yes, I am singing well. You know, if you sing well, then you just simply say, I do it well. If you do something good, you need to say you are doing it good. When you say someone, you are so beautiful, she says, no, it is not me, it is God. Or sometimes when you want to thank someone who helped you, he says, oh, no, it's not me, but it's God. You need to learn how to thank people. When they are thanking you, you need to say, yes, you're welcome, because you are what God gave you, the grace of God, of course, but you are the one who is raising someone, who is supporting someone. This is coming from God, but you need to receive the greetings also. This is the true humility. The scripture says, be humble. It doesn't say, I will make you humble, but we need to make our humbles. In the same church, another woman, she approached me. She came over me and said, please pray for me, because I am an idolater, and I said, "Oh, do you really mean it?" Because I never saw recently person who worship idols. And what do you mean? She said, "I like nice cars." And I said, asked her, "Do you have means to buy it?" So she said, "Yes." I asked her to buy one and to drive, and she said, "No, this is an idol. A car is an idol." And I asked her, "Do you go to the car, bow down, and say you are, I am worshiping you, or you are my idol?" He said, "No." She said, "No." And do you really think if I love my wife, it is an worshiping? It is to worship idol? If I say I love my country, Armenia, no, it is not an idol, worshiping an idol. But if you love someone, you need to say, "I love you," because you worship idols. But if you worship God, you cannot worship idols. Do not have religious humility, but the one that God is asking for. I want to give an example about. I will give you an example about Moses. You know it in Numbers. It is written. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. And signature is Moses's. Do you know who is speaking about Moses in the scripture? It is Moses himself. If your name is Ashot, if you say I am the most humble person in the church, maybe everyone will tell you you are arrogant. You know, once I entered the WC of men, and it was so dirty. And I could ask the cleaners and say, "Don't you see what is happening here?" But you know, these cleaners are my sisters and brothers. How do you position yourself? Do you show your superiority over them, or you humble yourself? I could show my superiority and say, "Clean it up," as a P. But I put on my gloves and I cleaned it. And this was not the first time I did it. After others, just years. When you go to the water closet, clean after yourself, because cleaners are your sisters and brothers. And if you leave dirty after yourself in your house, in the water closet, then know that just know that your wife and your children are. It is not their responsibility to clean after you. Do not show your superiority, but your humility. And I cleaned this water closet, and I understood that I am humble. You know, that's why God is giving me grace. Maybe you will say this is not humility, but arrogance. No. This is not something. The humility is not something to show to others, but to God. We can show religiously, but this is not humility. If you are not quarreling with anyone and you are not going to show your superiority, but listening, hearing to him humbly, that means you are humble. This is Moses who is speaking about himself. And that was the truth, because it was written in the scripture. And first, in 1 Corinthians 11, it is written, "Imitate me, just as I also imitate Christ." This is Paul says in the Bible. If I say, "Imitate me, I am like Jesus," you will say, "Who is he to speak like this?" But you know, Paul was speaking about himself like this. They were so humble. if you want to purchase something, I'm not against fashionable things, cars, bags, and anything else. I'm not against them. If God wishes you to have, then get them. But the point is, why do you need it for? Is this for proving someone something? Let me give you an example. If you want to get a Gucci or Louis Vuitton bag, why do you need it for? To show your superiority over others? Or you just want to feel good? No one can decide it instead of you, but only you can do it. If you want to prove someone, it is not good. But if you want to change your car and to get a better one, why do you want it for? Just to prove someone, or you need you want to feel good? It's good if you want to feel good. Today in internet we can see that people are getting weird when they put a piece of cakes or restaurants, pictures of it. Maybe if you want to show your superiority, that I am in Egypt, I am in Dubai and in restaurant, or you just like it. Of course, we cannot judge others. Maybe you hear this and say, yes, he is preaching good. This person is doing the same. This is not your call to judge others. This is God's call to judge. And if she or he is arrogant, then God will handle this, not you. This is not your call. Maybe she likes it. Maybe she is not arrogant. So do not show your superiority, but your humility. This image is about Christ who is washing his disciples' feet. What do we see here? Jesus came and took a towel and started to wash his disciples' feet, and he wanted to show that the church is not a place to have a position, but to serve each other. He didn't show Christ didn't show his superiority in the church, but very often in the church people are looking for their position and superiority, and they want to prove others, so who I am. Many people want to become rich so as the others can see the advantages over others. But there are people who are very humble and they are doing everything before God humbly, and God is giving them grace. The first one is do not show your superiority, but humility. And the second one, humility, is not self-humiliation or self-despise, but the right attitude towards the others. It's not like you need to self-humiliate yourself, but you need to have a right attitude towards others. This image on the screen is about Aaron, who went to speak with Moses. Others say it is about two wise men. In both ways, this is so nice. Wise man is going to speak with a wise man. This is wonderful. They are not humiliated. They are not self-humiliating that the other one is teaching me something. But if someone is going to teach you, just have a right attitude. In Philippians 2:3, it is written, "Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interests of the others." I just showed the example of a water closet which I cleaned, but maybe you are driving your good car, but your brother's car is out of order, and which is not good enough. Just pick him up and help him. You know, you will not lose your shoulder straps. Do not have shoulder straps, because God is the one who is glorifying us. The second one was to have a good attitude towards others. And this only you can try your heart. Do you have a good attitude or bad one towards others? Maybe you are a good preacher. You know, preachers, businessmen, maybe you see others' success and you say, what about me? You know, you will never overcome everyone. If you have your place, just sit in your place and blossom like, you know, like a tree. They are not comparing, competing with other trees. I have better blossoms. But may God see your humility and be glorified with God. The third one, what is humility itself? Humility does not mean to hide your strengths, but to recognize your limitations and the readiness to learn from other people. Let's look at the other image. Young priest is coming to be blessed by an old one. Do you see a humility here? Of course. How are you eager to learn from others? I noticed something. You know, I have so many friends who are who raised in their ministries or in business, and I noticed that they stop learning. Even if you are a good businessman, you need to still to hear advice. You know, I have learned so much in the USA. I have learned here humility. I am in touch with so many millionaires. And, you know, I am getting astonished when I talk to a mayor or a governor or people who have titles. They just sit and listen from you because they are humble. In Armenia, it is not the same. When someone, I don't know what is the reason of it, but everyone in Armenia wants to give an advice to another. And, you know, I understood something in my life. I don't want to give an advice to a person who is not asking for any. If he's not asking for an advice, why do you want to give an advice? We need to stop this. And there is a question, how eager are we to learn from others? When I see here in the USA, they reached so much more because they were ready to self-educate. We in our Armenian villages, when you go and you want to tell someone something to do in a correct way, they say, no, it is not working this way. The third one is this one. How eager are we to learn from our opponents, from the enemies? You know, in my last sermon, I spoke about the enemies. Your own personal enemy is not God's enemy, because He wants to save him. Maybe you have an enemy who is better than you, and he is more talented than you. Maybe you hate him, and that hinders you to become better. And if you are jealous, you will not learn from him or her because you want to show yourself better. But if you humble and you learn, God will raise you up. 1 Peter 5 from 5th to 6th verses. 1 Peter 5 to 6 verses. Likewise, you younger people, submit yourselves to your elders. Yes, all of you be submissive to one another and be clothed with humility, for God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. Why does Peter giving an advice to the youngsters? Because old people, they do not they stop speaking when you ask them something, because they know what they know. But youngsters, how much are you eager to learn? When I was a young person, I came to God when I was 21 years old, and we used to learn from Lester Sumrall and other elders. But nowadays, young people want to learn from other young people. What are they going to give you? Something a bit more than you know, but you need to learn from elders. Learn and be open to learn anytime. And once a guy told me, I will not ever learn from a woman. It is an Caucasus mentality, Armenian mentality. Is the government the one who will teach me something? Of course, God created them. Your wife is, the women are creation of God, so you may learn from them too. God is giving grace to humbles. And the fourth one, the last one, humility is not wearing modest clothes, outfit, but behaving in a worthy-like manner in all situations. It is not wearing modest clothes. Of course, I talk about brands and fashion. Who are we going to astonish with it? There is, look at this picture, please. This photo, this person, look at him. When we were in Washington, D.C., there was a museum. There is a museum of Bible. And I knew the owner of the museum is a billionaire. He's the manager of the store Hobby Lobby and the chain of stores. And we were there in the museum, and someone would meet us and to guide us. And we were waiting for this person. And a person came to lead us, to guide us. And that person was waiting for me to finish my phone conversation, and he greeted us and guided us. And that was the museum was really very great place. You understand there that starting from the perchants and digital Bible, the Bible is a real book. It confirms it is the real good book. And this person, when I looked his background later, he had 41 billion but he was wearing so simple clothes. He was very humble, and I didn't see anyone guarding him and to protecting him. It is lifeguards. As he was not afraid of anything and anyone, because he was free. And when someone looked at this picture, at this photo, he said, he's wearing a very simple, plain shoes. Everyone can afford it, to buy them. Do you think this person would not afford to get better clothes, expensive clothes? Of course he has. And moreover, I know that he has so many expensive clothes in his wardrobe, but he wore these clothes to meet us, not to show his superiority above pastors. My beloved, this is the real humility. 4 points, the definition of humility. First one, not having superiority in relation to other people. Do not choose the superiority over others. The second one, having the right attitude towards the other people. Third one, being ready and open to learn from others. Doesn't matter who is beside you, just learn. And the fourth one, behaving in a decent, worthy-like manner in all situations. And this is the way Jesus came to this world, and he didn't show his superiority. He learned from others, and he was behaving himself in a worthy-like manner in all situations, even on the cross. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I embrace you. I want. I don't know when we will see each other face to face again, but know that I love you so much, and we are in the will of God and in the perfect path of God. I am sure that there will be a great revival in Armenia, and we are like soldiers. Yes, of course, I missed you and you missed me, but we are soldiers, and we need to do it to raise churches. Life is short, and we need to do great works. And in Armenia, there is we are waiting for a great revival. We have a great job to do. We have a great future ahead.